Oops. Okay. Alrighty, I am here. Just trying to figure out how to do this, so bear with me, folks. I'm trying to figure out how to sign in on my iPad so that I can see your comments. There it is. Oh, wow, that looks weird. Bear with me. I'm going to try and... Okay, I'm trying to change this angle. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. Oh, golly, then I bump the camera. Ah. Oh, let's see if this is going to work. Okay. Oh, hi, Hannah. Thank you. And Angela, good morning to you, too. All right, we're going to try and give this a go here. If any of you have questions, just pop right in and ask. I'll try and answer them. All right, I should have probably finagled here a little bit better before I turned on the live stream, but I think we're getting there. Okay, that way I can see your questions. Oh, let's see if I can. All right. Kind of got this right in my face here. To try and stitch. This is going to be fun. Oh, you guys. Okay. All right. So, of course, all right, I got to make some adjustments here, people. Hang in there. Okay. Sorry if I'm making you a bit crazy here. Things they're not quite as they should be for me to appropriately stitch. Are we back in? Are we? No, we're not quite in the right place. There we go. Okay, now I'll get the light back on here. See if this is a little better. Ah, why does it do that? Okay, guys, this is the first time I'm doing this, so you guys are my guinea pigs, and I am so sorry for making you a bit crazy here. I'm trying to set this up so that the camera is not totally in my way to when I'm stitching. So I'm not sure how many people are watching. So if you're there, say hi. And if you're not, that's okay. If there's nobody there, that's okay. We're just gonna stitch a while and see what happens. If you have questions, I think I got it going now. So if you have questions, just hop on and just let me know. I'll try to I thought this would be a neat idea, you guys, to try and interact with you all a little bit. I mean, you're always just listening to me, and I never get to. I thought it would be easier to try and answer questions while we're live and be able to answer your questions right away rather than having to write back in the comments. So this is great. Let me turn on the. There we go. Oh, Claudia, you're in Germany. How great is that? Oh, I wish the comments wouldn't disappear so quick. Live chat. And Irene in Italy? Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad I was able to catch you guys in Europe. I'm always afraid that that's... okay, what am I doing here? I'm always afraid that I will only catch U.S. people and never you guys in Europe. So this is a fun thing. Now, I'm going to have to do a better camera setup the next time because, oh my goodness, there's all my chat. Oh, Hannah, you are so welcome. I'm glad you like the videos. They're fun to do. They really are. I enjoy doing them. It is really fun. Like I said, you gotta bear with me on this one. And you're doing your own, Hannah? Oh, that's cool. And I'm glad that I can influence you one way or the other to do this or not do this. It's fun. Okay. Uh, I am using Pattern Keeper, as most of you know. Which really makes stitching these so much easier. I will say, you notice that I'm doing my diagonal in a different direction. I changed the angle to this, to going from the top left down to the bottom right, mainly because by going the other way, by going from the top right to the bottom left, what was happening was when I go to put it on my Lowry stand, I was having all this bunch rolled up stitched fabric, which was a lot harder. Oh, sorry, I'm bumping here. Which was a lot harder to deal with, and I was having trouble getting the Q-snap in my Lowry. So I am going to change the projects I have started and start them in the top right corner instead of the top left corner. That way my the fabric on the left-hand side is going to be empty and not as bulky, and hopefully easier to put my Q-snap on my Lowry, so I won't have so much bulk to deal with. At least that's the plan at this point in time. And pardon me for being slow here, because as I said, the angle to see this is a little different. And I well, no, not I did go back and revert back to completing the color in the row I'm in. As you see, I'm not going one stitch by one stitch by one stitch. I'm doing all of one color within that row and then parking down below. I found this to be a little bit faster, especially since using Pattern Keeper. I'm trying to, I'm marking my chart here. I'm trying to avoid having to thread my needle so often, because we all know that really does slow us down. And by completing the color in each row, I think we're able to do a little bit faster. So I wish I could stitch with you guys all day too. I'm really just testing the waters out here a little bit, and I really do have to come up with a better way to set this up so that I can not bump I'm doing this on my phone, so I don't want to be bumping my phone all the time. And I want to be able to see what I'm stitching. So this is a little bit awkward, but hey, what can I say? We're giving it a shot here. And then I'm trying to look over and watch your comments. I'm really surprised there's so many of you on. Because I honestly didn't even announce it anywhere. I just kind of went live to test it out. But I mean, I'm happy you guys are all here with me. Because it's fun to stitch together, so. Oh, Hannah, your phone notified you. Oh, that's great. That's probably how most everybody that's here found out. Hi, Teresa. And I'm sure I didn't go down through and say hello to everybody, but I'm sorry if I missed you. I'm glad you're all here. So pull out your stitching and sit a while with me. Let's go over here a little bit more. There we go. Now that's in the center a little bit more. So pull out your stitching. Come sit. Grab a beverage. It will be fun. Okay, let me do here. I think tonight Barb is coming down. For those of you that might not know, Barb is the other admin with me in my Facebook group for the love of diagonal stitching, and she's coming. She's coming this evening. We're gonna stitch together. And she stitches her piece on the diagonal, but she does her diagonal a little bit different than I do. She stitches, instead of going horizontally each row, get my hand out of the way, she goes vertically in each row. So she goes up and down as she does hers. So I'd like to get her to make, oh, I'm sorry I keep bumping. I'm so sorry. Sue's asking, what's the most challenging piece I ever stitched? You know, that's really hard to say. I'm going to say, oh, probably these Heaven and Earth designs. I've been stitching, well, most of you know I've been stitching like what feels like a gazillion years. I've been stitching since I'm 21 years old. And, well, if you guys, most of you probably figured out I'm now 68. So that's quite a long time. And I've stitched many things over the years. I stitched a lot of samplers, and maybe one of these live shows I'll walk around through my house and show you all the samplers that are on my walls. There's about I think there's about 40 of them hanging in my living room and formal dining area. Some of those were very challenging. I stitched Dutch Beauty, which is a big one. I've stitched Dutch Beauty is a permanent sampler. I stitched Anne Med, which is by the Scarlet Letter, and that's a really huge one. Although I'm not going to say that they're challenging, they're just large. I stitched years and years and years ago, back in the 80s, I stitched a lot of designs by Barbara and Cheryl. I did South Battery View, Queen Street Alley, Sunday Morning, Church Street. Now those I would say were full coverage. So they were a bit of a challenge. But in all honesty, I think these Heaven and Earth designs are really the most challenging ones I've ever done. And mainly, I would say mainly because of all the confetti, all the color changing and what have you. Granted, they're all just full cross stitches, which is fabulous. Good Lord, I wouldn't want to have to do any specialty stitches in this. But it's a lot of paying attention, a lot of changing color. So I would say that yes, this is the most challenging. I spent quite a few years stitching samplers, so I don't want to do that. And I really love them, and they are my first love because I live in an old farmhouse. So it just fit. The samplers just were the thing to stitch and to hang in the house. But I really enjoy stitching the Heaven and Earth designs because they are a challenge, and I get bored with things that don't challenge me. I have some samplers started yet that they're full coverage. Scarlet Letter has a piece out. Oh, phooey, I started a new thread and I wouldn't have had to. Oh, well, we'll end one of them. Scarlet Letter has some full coverage ones out. I don't know if any of you have heard of the one called Manifesto. And there's another one called Hannah Carter, which are gorgeous, and they are full coverage. However, they are huge blocks of one color. Like the background on the lower half of Manifesto. And you can go to the Scarlet Letter website and look it up. Just search Manifesto, and it should come up for you. But the whole background on the bottom half of it is 501 and 503. Well, talk about getting bored silly. I mean, really seriously, there's only so much I can do of stitching just one color. So I'm going to say Heaven and Earth designs are the most challenging. How many Heaven and Earth designs have I done? I'm going to say 2. And those were the Christmas stockings that I did for my grandchildren. I did First Snow. That's the one with the fox and the squirrel. looking up at the sky. And Karen, what did you do here? And I did Long Winter's Nap. So those were the two stockings I did for my grandkids. The other Heaven and Earth designs that I have started, I'm sorry to say, I've not finished yet. Let's see. I started this one, Stitcher's Retreat. Let me think. The kids had their stockings last year for Christmas. So I spent all of 2018 working on those. Those two stockings took me a year to stitch. I started them December of 2017 and I finished them in November of 2018. I had started this piece the very end of 2016 and I worked on it 2017 until I started the stockings for the kids. Then this got put away for a year and I pulled it out the beginning of this year. So, and I'm, according to Pattern Keeper, I am, oh wow, I just passed a little milestone. I am now 43% done. So I'm figuring this one is going to take me about, oh, with any amount of luck, another 2 years. I don't work on this one. I'm trying to rotate projects because I don't want to get burned out and bored. You know, I kind of get like everybody else, we have our moments and you just get, oh, I'm so just tired of working on that one project. I want to work on something else. Oh, sorry about that. So there are times that this goes away for a while and I work on something else. I have several others started. I have Once Upon a Time started, which is the one that says Once Upon a Time and something about something being enchanted and there was a girl who loved to read. I'm working on that one for my daughter because she is an avid reader and she is an 8th grade language arts teacher, so she teaches reading. So that one, it just, the second I saw it, she was exactly who I thought of and thought, oh my God, I need to make that for her. It's just her. And then Barb and I are stitching together another Heaven and Earth design called Timeless Elegance. And we really kind of just started that. So that's a piece I work on when Barb and I stitch together. We kind of have a stitch along going, and because she's working on bath time, we both agreed that we'll stitch on Timeless Elegance when we do our stitch alongs. So that's always fun. And she usually comes to my place and spends an evening or an afternoon, or depends on her working schedule. We always have to work around that because she still works. I'm lucky enough to be retired, so I can stitch whenever and to my heart's content, which is awesome. So that started. I also have, let's see, the Fractal 6, I believe it is. I also have that one started, although I don't have near as much done on that. Barb and I are stitching that one along with a friend that lives in Virginia that we always meet up with. Well, we go to visit her a couple times a year, plus we always meet up with her when we go to Salty Yarns in the spring. So that one comes out on occasion, and I really have to admit that part of the reason it doesn't come out a whole lot is because, oh my God, it's a bazillion and a half stitches of black. Nothing but black. Now, it will be a lot more interesting once I get into the areas where it starts to get more color, because it is gorgeous and the colors in it are absolutely stunning. Let me park this. Well, it might be a little hard to show you a picture without adjusting everything here. But it is a gorgeous, gorgeous sampler. Well, not sampler, gorgeous piece. So those are what I have started. There's many more that I'd like to start. There's many more that I want to stitch. My thing is I'm already 68. How long am I going to have to live to finish all of these? You know, you start to think about your time here is getting shorter and shorter all the time. And these pieces take, it isn't a piece that you can stitch in 6 months. It's a piece that, well, maybe you can get it stitched in 6 years if you're lucky. I mean, I've already been working on this one 16, 17, 8. This is it'll soon be 4 years that I started this one. So how many do I really want to start? I mean, how many do you guys have started? I know a lot of you are probably much younger, but how many Heaven and Earth designs, or how many big full coverage charts do you have started? And do you hesitate starting too many because of your age? I would be curious to know that. It's always, oh, okay. It's an interesting topic to think about. How long have we been on here? Half hour. Well, I was going to, I'm gonna have to end this thread because it's getting a little short. Oh, passion for crafting. Yes, I get it. I get it. You got a lot of stitching time ahead of you. And by the way, well, I think that's exactly it. For me, I would love to see this one finished because this is the piece that brought me to Heaven and Earth Designs. Once I saw this piece, it was like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. I need to stitch that. I want that hanging on my wall. So if I don't get any others finished, I'm really okay with that. But I would really, really, really love, love, love to finish this particular piece. And as I said, just for the simple reason that this was the one that got me started in these designs. And listen, guys, don't ever say never. I can remember, unfortunately, the shop closed and we don't have that stitching group anymore. But there was a shop over, I'm in Pennsylvania, and I'm not too far from Lancaster City. And there was a shop over just outside of Lancaster that we would have stitching meetups at. Oh God, where was I going with this? Oh God, I just lost my train of thought. See what happens. Okay, it just completely went. Forgot where I was going. See what happens. See what happens when you get older? You start talking about something and then you forget what your point was going to be. So, whatever that rabbit trail was, we're just gonna move on to the next one. Oh, never say never. Thank you. The shop owner was stitching a Heaven and Earth design. And I would watch her stitch that as we'd be stitching there. And I said, oh my God, I am never, ever, ever going to stitch one of those. Never. And hers was beautiful. I don't remember which pattern it was, but it was absolutely gorgeous. But I kept saying, oh no, you will never catch me stitching a Heaven and Earth design. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, if there's any fellas here, I now have to eat my words because really it is all that I want to stitch. I don't want to stitch anything else anymore because these are so enjoyable to stitch. Okay, what do I got messed up here? See, this is what happens when you're talking and forget yourself and okay, this goes here. Okay. So don't ever say never because there may be a time when you're just going to have to eat those words and you're going to stitch what you said you'd never ever stitch. And now, like I said, this is all that I want to stitch anymore because they are a challenge. I don't want to get bored. You know, there's nothing worse where you want to, at least for me, there's nothing worse than wanting to stitch, but then being bored silly with it. That's just, I don't know, that's just craziness. Okay, so now I'm going to go, I am so sorry I keep bumping this. I have put it on my Christmas list for my daughter who's always asking, Mom, what do you want for Christmas? Because we never know what to get you or my husband. So I put on there a better a better tripod for putting my phone on so I can stitch a little better. Oh, Hannah, you're funny. 9 full coverage pieces because you get bored so fast. Oh my God, that's a riot. Oh, bless your heart. But as we've said, the fun part is the stitching. This is the only one really truly that well, I'd love to finish them all, but that's probably not going to happen. So if any, this is the one that I'd want to get done. Now, the thing is, what I should do and what I talk about doing I talk about it so often, and then I don't do it because I get kind of hooked on stitching one, and then is setting up a rotation. But then I switch to something else, and then something else calls me, and it's like, oh my goodness. Teresa, are you starting Farewell to Anger with Jan Hicks and Zook? What's her first name? On YouTube, she's C, the letter C, Zook. Cynthia? I'm not sure of her first name, but her and Jan Hicks are starting Farewell to Anger on the first of the year. And did I see you're doing supersized? Oh, Carolyn Zook. Thanks, Nancy. That's right. I could remember the last name, and I remember it really, in all honesty, the reason I remember it is because Zook is a very common name around here. I live, well, like I said, about 45 minutes from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is Amish country. And Zook is a very common last name in this area. So that's why that has always stuck with me. But for the life of me, I could not remember her first name. Farewell to Anger is a absolutely gorgeous piece too. I like his things. What I did there. I often thought about stitching one of those too, but I keep it's all about the process. Okay, this one needs to go here. Okay. Well, you went a bit crazy on the size. Oh, Childhood Sweethearts. Oh my goodness, I love that one too. Well, you have 12 years to do it. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's another one. I love it. And I really love the picture, but I also really love the colors in both of them. Um, that's the other thing. After stitching on Stitcher's Retreat for so long, the colors are so dark. I mean, like I said, it's a gorgeous picture. I love the picture, but the colors are just, I mean, it's all grays and greens and mauves and browns, and everything is so dark. I have the urge to stitch something with brighter colors. and have something more vibrant, especially with winter coming. Oh, with winter coming, you want to stitch something that's happy and makes you feel good, not something that's drab. Okay. Well, let's see. Oh, Renee, Peacock's Lagoon. Which long dog are you starting in January? Renee. I have the urge to do Death by Cross Stitch too, and yet I am hesitating because I don't know if I can do just one color anymore. Isn't that terrible? But I don't know that I can. I think I would just. Oh, you're gonna do the Pilgrim. Oh, that's a neat one too. I love long dog samplers. But after this, I just don't know that I could go back to doing just one color. I'm just not sure. You know, I cross stitched for many, many years. And then I learned to do hardhanger embroidery. And then that's all I did for about 15, I'm going to say close to 15 years, at least 10, closer to 15. And then I got the urge I wanted to cross stitch again. But what I really liked about the hardhanger at that point in time and that point in my life was I only ever needed one color. It was very rhythmic and easy to carry around, and then when I decided I wanted to cross stitch again, I really gravitated to all these one color things, and I stitched that for a couple of years, and then I went and stitched a bunch of samplers. Like I said, I think from 2015 to 2017, I did almost 40. I was a stitching fiend, even though I worked full time. And then I started gravitating again back to the things with more colors and more challenging and whatever. So I hesitate with starting Death by Cross Stitch because I'm afraid I'm going to get bored with just one color. Now, I guess I could try and do it multicolored like some people are doing, but I'm really not good at doing that, at deciding where the color goes. Passion for crafting, if I remember right, how do you say, well, it's hard, I can't hear you. You can hear me. Am I saying your name correctly? Is it Dunja? Dunja? But I agree with you there. One color projects are great when you travel. I had to take my husband to the emergency room yesterday, and I have a Ronnie Rowe design started, and it's all black, and that was just Dunja. Oh, thank you. And by the way, I have to thank you so much for getting that fabric for me and sending it my way. I just really appreciated it. So this is a good chance to say thank you in in person for helping me out with that and um, acting as a middleman for me to purchase that yard of fabric. That was great. I don't know why. Well, I wish it was available here in the States yet, but I guess it just wasn't that popular. So what can I say? So thank you so much. Well, guys, I'm going on. Oh, you're too sweet. You're too sweet. And I'm sure Barb really appreciates it too, since I do know she got a hold of you. There's another woman that I had given your information to, but I don't know that she's going to contact you at this time. She's having some difficulties in her life at the moment. Angela, what would you like me to show a picture of? The one I'm stitching? Oh, Teresa, that's exactly right. How do you decide what color? Oh my goodness. That's just the biggest that's just the biggest difficulty of everything is deciding what color. There's just so many combinations. Okay, Angela, let me get you a picture here. See if I can. Oh, phooey. See if I can bring it up for you. Okay. Sometimes my finger gets too big when I'm trying to hit these three little dots and get. Here we go. Edit legend. Okay, let's see if I can get far enough away and get you. There we go. Okay, this is a little weird to do. There we go. That's what I'm working on. And what I have done is, let me see if I can hold this and point at the same time. I have from here up across here, across the top, and now I'm working on this diagonal here. So this middle part, this girl's head and face is not done. Her face, this one's face is finished. So I have this part to fill in and then everything basically from here down to do. So that's what it looks like. Yes, it's Stitcher's Retreat. And like I said, started it a couple years ago. So it's getting there. It's getting there. So, okay, guys, we're going on an hour. I have some other things that I want to do this afternoon yet. But I'm going to plan on doing these a little more often. So maybe, and different times of the day so I can catch more people. This has been really, really fun. So I'm gonna sign off and let you all go, and hope every one of you has a really, really great weekend and get some stitching in, because we really have to do that. So, but thanks all for joining in, and wow, I'm surprised to have so many people for not even letting anybody know that I was coming on. So, next time I will make an announcement, and we'll do this again real soon. Maybe even over the weekend. So, have a great weekend. Happy stitching and love you all. Thanks. Bye-bye.